Hey there, hey, and welcome to this Monday pod of Born to Be a Star. I know there was no Thursday pod, and I know there was no Friday pod. Been dealing with the fact that my technology is not working the way that I need it to. I obviously need a new computer, I need a new phone, and at some point I'm going to have to upgrade them. Anyways, today is Monday, and it's another day, and it's another opportunity for us to talk about important things that are happening on a day-to-day basis, and also to acknowledge that we need to utilize our star power for good things to change the world. Did you know that you're a star regardless of where you are? And did you know that if you keep your mind focused, you can achieve goals even if you think they're impossible? I want to encourage you, I want to inspire you, and I want you to feel the love for yourself that you're supposed to feel for yourself. When you do look at the reflection in the mirror of your mirror, you should be seeing where you started, where you are, and where you're going. It should all just kind of conform together. Sometimes it doesn't always conform together, but that is the idea. It should. Moving on from that to something different, let's talk about the fact that you should never give up, just like John Cena said, and you should always just believe, saying, yes, I can. And I want you to say that, I want you to acknowledge it, and I want you to believe it. Moving on from the fact that you're a star wherever you are, let's get into one of our favorite parts of the conversation by talking about something fun. So Trump announced last Tuesday that he was going to be the president of the United States. He was, going to be running for 2024, which is why I didn't really post anything on Thursday and Friday. One, I kind of couldn't figure out how to put that into a podcast without the podcast being like 3 hours. Second of all, I wanted to talk to you about the fact that I don't really believe half of what happened during this midterm election for 2022. I do listen to Ben Shapiro. I do listen to Matt Walsh. I do listen to The Noel Show and Candace Owens. And I listen to Pod Save America, and I listen to a bunch of things. I like to have views from everybody, and then I like to format my own thoughts. But I'm not going to be the person that's going to talk about what happened with voting, or I'm not going to deny what has happened. I just would like to point out the fact that how are things going to change in this dynamic if we just keep acting like it's not as much of a big deal as it actually is? I do believe there's a problem with voting. I don't understand what happened to those machines in Arizona. And I don't think that the person that should have been counting the votes is the person that should have been running for governor. That doesn't seem right. Are we still following the Constitution of the United States of America? Because if we are, there's a really seriously bad problem going on with the immigration. And for the Biden administration to blame somebody, just one person, is just irresponsible. Like, as a taxpayer, as somebody that's going to potentially be a parent at some point, I want my children to grow up in a place where they understand values and they understand hard work and dedication. Like, they're getting to retirement through 401k and investments, not because somebody's going to give you something. So I don't understand the mindset that the government wants to continue to give people things and then not have a way to pay for it. That part is frustrating to me. How did we get to this point during a midterm election where it's okay for the person running for governor to be the person collecting the votes, who's doing a really horrible job at that? And while I have questions about some of the people selected to run for these positions, like I was saying early on last week, I don't think that it would have made a difference because the dynamic has changed now. The idea is marriage is wrong, God is wrong, and children are wrong. And for Chuck Schumer to come out and claim that illegal people should come to the United States of America because we need more people to have babies is absolutely ridiculous. Maybe you should stop telling people to get abortions. Maybe that's the first step. Maybe you should give people salaries so they can have children. Maybe you should stop condemning people because they are in the 1%. Maybe those are steps that can be taken. We don't need to allow 10 or 11 million illegal people into this country to fill the gap of Americans. There's far too many people that are already here that are illegal. This is a way for them to introduce some ridiculous things into the United States of America, getting further and further and further away from what this country was founded on. Because George Washington did not want to be a king. He wanted a republic. Not a democratic republic, but a republic. He wanted people to have rights and freedom of speech, and all those things listed into the Constitution of the United States of America. Now, unless you're going to run on what's listed in the Constitution of the United States of America and you're going to hold on to American values, yeah, some of the values weren't great. It wasn't a great idea to enslave black people. It wasn't a great idea to do anything. There's a lot of problems with jobs, and there's a lot of problems with the inequality in women's paycheck versus men's paycheck. I could talk about that all day. Like, why is my starting salary less than someone else, and the guy might be doing less work than me? And when are we having that lucrative conversation? Am I not as valuable and I have education and the other person does not? So how am I getting paid less? How does that work out? I wonder. Just a thought, right? But no one's having these conversations. Aren't jobs supposed to be based off of a skill set and education, not just because you feel like the person's going to be good for that job, but because their resume matches up to what you're looking for? And I'm all about giving people a chance. But if you don't actually look for talent, you're not going to have talent. Isn't that the entire idea? How are we getting farther away from what this country was founded on? Chuck Schumer coming out and saying that is an embarrassment. The Biden administration is clearly guilty of everything, and I just don't know what's going to happen here. I mean, how much more can we withstand? That's basically my question, because, like, I don't want to yell. I don't want to scream. I don't want to get mad. I'm excited that Trump's running. I'm extremely a Trumper, and I will happily admit that on this podcast. I like him because he's different. I like him because he's not one of these crappy politicians that's been doing this for like 90 years, and they want to act like it's 1970. And the best part of anything that happened this past week is that Nancy Pelosi said she will not be running for re-election as the Speaker of the House. For the love of God, I finally get to see it. There's no woman I dislike more than her. Maybe AOC, because she's just a bucket of crap. But, Nancy Pelosi is a close second. Just, that lady is the definition of corruptedness. Her husband, her insider trading, they're basically getting away with things they shouldn't be getting away with, and they should be in jail. Just like Hillary Clinton should be in jail, so should her husband, Bill Clinton. Why are we allowing people that have power not to be penalized? Because you're a president, you get a whitewash? Is that how that works? That's not fair. And if you're going to react to Donald Trump like that, then why aren't you reacting to everyone else the same way? The United States of America is gone full-blown left progressive psychoticness, and they're okaying chopping children's body parts off, wanting to pretend like they're another sexuality, because that's convenient. Because you need a new base, so you're creating a base. You want to create a base of electors that are illegal, okay? That's why you want to make an illegal vote count, because you want to give these people free things so they'll vote for you. But you've lost the Spanish vote. So at this rate, people that are like Spanish and are legal don't want to see you allow illegal people to come over here. And it's ridiculous that you want to insult Governor Abbott in Texas, and that you want to insult Ron DeSantis for putting people on a fucking plane and sending them to Martha's Vineyard, which was absolutely hilarious. People know what's happening. And the crappy news stations and the journalists that don't do journalism, I talk about that so many times. No one's telling the truth because they're getting paid to lie. And that should have you wondering, to what extent? To all extents. They don't care because they don't have to. There's a group of people that are going to continue to vote democratically because they're getting handouts and they're getting paid to vote for them. The Democratic Party is the party of autocracy and death. They are fighting for abortion, yet they're complaining about the fact that our infertility rate in the United States is low. It contradicts itself. How can you be fighting to allow people to be irresponsible and have abortions when they could have we could have 50 million more people here? I don't see it here. And I know that last week Ben Shapiro was flipping out about how Donald Trump didn't do this or that correct. And I'm going to say something about podcasters and Daily Wire and whatever. People that have radio stations, people that have podcasts, people that are using social media as a tool to be able to express yourself, including myself. I'm not going to condemn Trump for what happened during the midterm election. I actually have another philosophy, which is what I was talking about at the beginning of this. It didn't matter who the Republicans ran for election. It didn't matter. They weren't going to win because the psychotic Democratic movement was going to elect John Fetterman in one way or another. It didn't matter if Dr. Oz was from Pennsylvania or not. They liked Oz from the beginning. They wanted to do the sympathy crap when they are all sympathetic and they're acting like they're making a difference, when in the reality of it, John Fetterman can't talk. His wife is running that party. Moving on, we all know that. She's taking pictures with him, and he's not in the pictures. Hello? She's not even going to wait. She's already taking over. Let's not lie. This wasn't about Trump. And honestly, the Republican Party is full of so many rhinos and people that are not going to help. We need more Trumpians in the right. Honestly, the Republican Party needs to be taken over, and we need to clean the sludge out. We need to get rid of Mitch McConnell. I don't know what's going on with the guy that's going to run for a House leader, but he can't be trusted either. And I know people want to say Mitch McConnell isn't going to get voted out, but he needs to get voted out because he's part of the problem. He allows Democrats to do all the psychotic shit, and then he'll vote with them. But the things that they want to pass are absolutely insane. How are we going to change things if we don't talk about things? That's all I'm saying. The word is how, the word is why, and the word is where. And I'm just going to continue to ask these questions, and I'm just going to continue to make it obvious. How are we going to make a difference in the world, not just the United States, if we just allow these manipulators to continue to manipulate the system? They built the system, and now they want to destroy it and rebuild something else. They want to do a great new reset. How about we fucking reset their bank accounts and empty them out, since all they do is insider trading? Is that not illegal? If a regular person does insider trading, they go to jail. Why do they get a pass? Why is it that hard work and dedication doesn't get any reward, but being sludgy and slimy and greedy and stanky gets you everything? I don't want to hear about Bernie Sanders, okay? I don't want to hear about Biden, who can't talk, or John Fetterman, who is an embarrassment to the United States of America. Electing these people, re-electing them into office is embarrassing. But I have faith that these people are going to burn down the cities that they represent. They are going to run amok in the places that they represent. And there's going to be debt beyond belief in these places. And everything is going to cost more. And inflation is just going to continue to rise. And I truly believe that the next time it comes to voting in the next election, Democrats are going to lose. Because they suck at their job, right? They had all three bodies of power and they didn't do anything but put us in worse debt. There's no affordable houses that are actually worth the value of the house. You're overpaying for everything. And I'm not going to tell people to overpay for property. You know, as much as I complain about the fact that me and Skip want a property, but we're not going to overpay for it. I mean, we'll just be patient. Honestly, how much are you going to endure from the lying? I guess it's up to you. Thanks for tuning in to this Monday holiday edition of No Media Allowed, No Media Allowed, No Media Allowed, because they lie to us anyway. Don't believe a word they're saying because they're lying to you. If you're looking for the real news, then follow people that aren't on the TV. I'm just saying. Maybe you want to watch some Tucker Carlson. It's kind of funny, but if you're looking for actual news, you need to go find it yourself. Don't trust anything that the media is saying to you. Moving on to the next part of our conversation on this Monday. Chase your dreams. You should chase your dreams because if you don't chase them, who's going to? Like, I hate the idea that you should just let things go and you should just, give up on something. But why? Why should you give up? What is giving up going to do for you? It's going to leave you in a trance where you wake up and you're like, damn, I don't like this. Do you really want to feel like that? Do you really want to feel like that? I mean, I know I don't really want to feel like that, so I can't imagine anybody else wants to either. It just sounds damning and just really upsetting, honestly. Chase your dreams, man. If you want to do something, if you want to try something different, go do it. And don't apologize for wanting to do something differently. I think the best decision that I made in the last 5 years was spending 2 years of that time getting a master's degree and then COVID happening and then me recognizing that I had just gotten all this education in a field that I absolutely hated. But you know what? It's okay that I didn't like it, right? It's okay that I hated it, right? It's okay that it didn't work. It's okay that I figured something else out. I'm okay with that. You know why I'm okay with it? Because now I've done it. I've accomplished something that I didn't think was possible. I was able to get my notary. I was able to get my NMLS. I was able to do all these things. And honestly, I'm better off with what I did. I'm glad I followed a thought. I went into getting a master's degree thinking I wanted to change the dynamic for teachers, or I wanted to change the dynamic for what kids needed. And I came out of it understanding that it was too much of an achievement for me to get. But I did my best and I made a difference in the time that I did everything in, and I'm glad that I did it. I'm glad that I attempted to follow my dreams, and I'm glad that I came out on the other side with a new dream to follow. Building up my podcast, building up my brand, maybe even becoming an author, doing things that I like on my rate, enjoying my life and my time with my husband, preparing to have our own family, like these other things. The decision that I made didn't stop me from having different dreams, it just made my dreams better, I think. It gave me the ability to understand that I could do more. And so I did. I think we have to stop thinking what we can't do and look at what we can do. That's what it means to chase your dream. Chase what makes you smile and be that difference in every day. Because when you're the person with the smile on your face and you don't let anything stop you from being happy, you are the definition of living. Moving on to our next part of our conversation on this wonderful Monday. Where are the spaceships? No, seriously, where are the spaceships? I know Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and all these multi-trillionaire people are building spaceships, except guess who's not going to be on them? Us. I mean, what's the idea here? Like, where am I? When am I going to be in a situation where I'm going to be included in space exploration? Because I want to go to space. I want to see spaceships. I want to be involved in all of this cool, like, futuristic-esque type stuff. I'm currently not, but I want to be. And I don't even know how to get involved with it. I like the idea of NASA. I like the idea of going into space and seeing the great beyond. I don't really know what that entails, but I want to see. I gotta believe there's more outside of just, this planet called Earth. And I kind of want to see what that is. What does that mean? I don't know. But I feel like I'm limited here because, like, how do we do this? I don't know. Questions. I figured at some point in the future they were going to create spaceships and we were just going to be able to buy them. They were going to be like some sort of a car. That hasn't happened. For all the space movies I've watched, all the sci-fi I've looked at, this country has failed in regards to technology. If the best type of technology we have is like a computer instead of like a vehicle, I'm not impressed. And yeah, Teslas are cool and all these like non-fuel vehicles are awesome, and at some point I'm going to get a Tesla, and at some point I'll move into that space. It's not now, but at some point I will. I don't get it. I just don't. I'm not sure where we go for here with technology, because I would have thought we would have already had spaceships, and we are nowhere near that. Like, that's not something that you can even realistically think about. Like, and I know there's all these like vehicles that are electric, but that doesn't really make me feel like it's a spaceship. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not sure what's next when it comes to technology, but it's moving at a very slow pace. And people will probably think that like my projection or my estimation or my thought process might be off here. But you do realize that we're in 2022, right? In 30 years we'll be in 2050. You're telling me they couldn't have figured out spaceships? For all these people that are going to space, we walked on the moon, we did all this. How are we still only living on Earth? Why aren't we thinking beyond that? Why aren't we riding around in spaceships? I like cars and all, but they're trying to convince us that we need to get electric vehicles, and that's just questionable. So I'm kind of not sure what's next. I don't know. Moving on to the next part of our conversation, natural beauty. I think natural beauty is far prettier than makeup beauty. Like a person that has to put makeup on every day, like that's part of their day to day, like their daily technique. I don't know. Like, I wear makeup for special events like weddings, or if I'm going somewhere or I'm celebrating something. Honestly, the only time I wear makeup is a wedding, New Year's Eve, and maybe my birthday. That's like it. Honestly, or my anniversary if we're going somewhere special, like me and my husband. Outside of that, I don't have a time where I actually put makeup on. Like, there's people that put makeup on for their job. I don't see the point. Like, you're at work. Why do you have to look like a clown? Like, you need to put makeup on like you're like, I don't know. And I'm not saying makeup can't make you look beautiful and everybody is to each is their own. And if they want to wear makeup, they can. I'm just saying, what's wrong with natural beauty? What's wrong with just, I don't know, washing your face and putting some moisturizer on and having that be your beauty? Why does your beauty have to be tied to a foundation? I mean, basically, that's what I'm saying. I've never been into makeup. Me and my best friend attempted to get into it, and we just didn't really like it like that. Like, I've got very, um, I've got good skin, and honestly, I don't want to put anything on top of my skin. I don't want to. I don't. I'm not seeing it. And there's all these videos all over YouTube about how you can put on eyeshadow and eyeliner and all this stuff, and that's great. It's just not for me. So if you want to go ahead and put makeup on, I say to each is their own. I'm just not going to be one of the people doing it. And I have a whole big case conglomerate, a whole couple shelves of makeup and a bunch of other things too. And I used to get BoxyCharm, but I don't wear any of that, so I don't know why I need that. For what? I'm not sure. Makeup's just not for me. But I do like lipstick and I do like Kylie. As much as Kylie has maybe not been as good as she originally was, I still like the tones and the colors. So I'm going to stick with the Kylie matte lip. But who knows what I'll try next. I'll keep you guys in the loop of whatever else I find when I find it. What car is better? That's the next question. I don't know what car is better. I told you, like, whenever I get something new from what I have now, it's probably going to be a Tesla. Do I need a Tesla? Probably not. Is there a cheaper variation of an electric car? Probably. But do I want a Tesla? Yes. But my husband brought up a valid point about electric cars. You have to pay to charge them. Like, it's not free unless you're getting the vehicle charged at your house, which is fine, but then you're going to be paying a higher electric bill. So either way, you're paying for it, which makes me feel like I'm not sure what I want to do with a vehicle. Honestly, I've always wanted a Range Rover, and I went from an SUV back to a car from a car. So I currently have a Jetta, and I absolutely love it. It's got everything I want. It's got fast horsepower, right? Touchscreen, moonroof, push to start, everything I like, it has. So I don't really even think I'm looking for anything anytime soon. It's going to be a long time till I look for a car, honestly. And I love it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Honestly, I can't even think about getting a new car, and I'm not even going to do it to myself. Um, the guy at the car place said I could look at a new vehicle in maybe 2 years, and maybe I would consider that if I get sick of the Jetta that I have. I think I'm staying Volkswagen. If anything, I'll get the electric Volkswagen um, SUV at some point. But I don't even know if I want a Tesla. And I'm concerned about electric things because I'm going to have to charge it, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do any of that. While I'm trying to think about the future, I'm also being realistic. How many actual normal people are going to be able to pay who knows how much to charge your vehicle? And when are you going to have time to do that? Like, I barely have time to breathe. Like, really, the only day off I have is Sunday, and I go to church in the morning, so it's really not a day off. It's not. So I'm not really sure how this is going to work out. TBD. To be decided. At this point, I can't tell you what car I'd go for next. It's probably going to be electric, and it's probably going to be Volkswagen, because I don't know if it's going to be Tesla, because I don't know if I want to spend like $170,000 on a car. So I don't know. I don't know. Moving on to the next part of the conversation. A little competition is fun. A little competition is fun. A lot of competition is annoying. I consider myself a competitive person, but in certain situations it's like I'm not really competing with anybody, especially when it comes to education. I mean, a lot of people don't even have bachelor's degrees, let alone master's degrees, so it's like, what are we talking about? There's a lot of things I could learn more in. Obviously, I told you I want to learn Mandarin, and I really find history interesting, and there's so many different uh topics that I love talking about. I feel like there's so much I could learn about comic books, and there's so much I could learn about the history of video gaming and where that originally started. I love cars. I love the whole vehicle, how it's built, how it's set up. There's so many things I want to learn about, but in other regards, like, I'm trying to learn, but then I can't disregard the fact that I'm kind of intelligent. So it's like, it's concerning that, like, some people let themselves get to the best of themselves, and I'm a very confident person. I built that up over time, where I don't really let people get me down. I don't. But honestly, some people have problems. I just don't get it. Honestly, competition isn't everything though. Sometimes you just want to breathe and just have a normal day, and you don't want to be dealing with people that have to make you feel like you're in a competition. But I think people have low self-esteem, and they despise themselves, so they have to make themselves the center of everything always, and I hate those people. For the love of God, please shut up. Why do people always have to be the center of a conversation? Why do they always have to interrupt somebody and give their spew of the story? And I'm guilty of doing that too, and I really got to stop. I've really been trying really hard to talk less and listen more. That has been like my personal like commitment to myself, to be somebody that's just an observer, unless I am being asked to give my like thought or whatever. But I'm trying really hard not to be that annoying person that keeps talking. But for some reason, I keep being surrounded by people that won't shut the hell up. Like, they always want to talk. They always want to talk about their life. They always want to talk about something that's happening. And I guess my confusion, I guess my confusion is, how do we deal with this? I don't really want to hear somebody who wants to get psychotic into themselves, and they have to be the center of attention. And I don't want to be the person that wants to be the center of attention. I'm fine with people not knowing I exist. While I like attention, I don't want to be I don't want that to be the forefront of my life, which is why I've steered away from social media. I deactivated my Facebook. I'm never going back on it. And which is why, I've been focusing a lot of my time on my podcast and spending time with my family, because that's what's really important. Not liking something on a post. I mean, am I going to be the most like viral person on social media? Likely not. Do I believe that I'm, maybe an Instagram model? Likely, probably. Um, but I don't want that to be the solemn of my life, being addicted to being on social media, just scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. And when I hear people brag about TikTok and all these things, I'm thinking, you're spending all this time on social media, Do you even know what's happening? Half of the things that they're talking about, I've never been on them. I have never been on TikTok. I've never downloaded it, and I don't want to go on it. And from what I can hear about TikTok, I don't think anybody should want to go on it either. I'm just saying. Anyways, don't get caught up in competition, and don't get caught up in yourself. I mean, sure, you can be confident, but you also have to understand you're confident living in a world full of a lot of people. Just a thought. Moving on to the next part of our conversation. Reality TV is good, but in moderation. You don't want to watch it all the time. And I caught myself watching Are You the One? And while I like it, I'm still understanding the fact that it's a dating show. It's probably like The Bachelor. And I like it and all, but like, is it really good for me? I'm not sure. I'm still going to look at it though, so we'll see what happens. Moving on to the next part of my conversation. I can't rewatch certain things. Like, I've been attempted to rewatch Sopranos, right? Because people talk about rewatching Sopranos. But I'm never going to rewatch Game of Thrones. I hated the way that show ended, and I'm never pressing play again. Like, one of my coworkers is watching it at work, and she keeps coming into work talking about it, and it's irritating me. But another coworker likes to talk about it with her because the person convinced her to watch it. So that's fine. But, like, I don't know. There's something about, like, if it's not good, I don't want to talk about it. And honestly, House of Dragons was okay, but, like, I didn't love it. Like, it didn't, like, the ending of it made me feel like I could have predicted all this boring crap. Like, I just don't care. Like, if that was the beginning of one of my most favorite characters of Game of Thrones, and that's how it started, I'm not sure. That's what I mean. Like, I can't rewatch shows. I don't want to do shows again. Like, granted, COVID gave an opportunity for me to feel like, okay, maybe I could do this over. But, like, I don't know. I don't know. Rewatching things is not my thing. Like, once I see it and it's over, I'm done with it. Unless it's going to have multiple seasons. Like, if it's a series, that's different. But if it's a show and it's a one-off, I'm not going to go back and rewatch it again. Some people do that. I don't. Not every movie is worth the movies. Yo, not every movie is worth the movie. Do you know how much the movies cost? How many times do we have to talk about that? There's some movies that are not worth going to the movie to see. And since we're talking about this, I'm going to have to tell you something that you're probably not going to like, but I'm going to say it because it's Monday and somebody has to say it. Wakanda Forever is a failure to the black community and Black Panther. They took that movie for what it represented and they turned it into a mockery. They're an embarrassment to the original actor of Black Panther, and it's not about women. Women can't be about everything. Everything can't be feminist. And the more you do that and you take away from the storyline with men in it, you ruin it. And it's annoying. I can't stand it. I'm not into it. I'm just not into it. I just don't see it. Like, I feel like they spent all this time, and I saw this commercial on TV where this kid of color said, "This superhero looks just like me." And it really made me think, what about all the kids that thought Iron Man was cool or Thor? That are thinking, he looks just like me. So you're going to condemn people that are not minority? Where are we going in Hollywood? This goes back to the conversation I was having to you about the Jewish people we can't talk about when it comes to Hollywood and music. They're creating this narrative where they're selling black people a lie. And Wakanda is not real. It's a virtual reality of reality. It's not real. Please stop. Please, for the love of God, stop. I mean, people are so vulnerable and desperate to belong to something that they'll just accept something because it sounds okay. But you have to do far beyond just accepting something. You have to do your research, your due diligence, and you have to understand things in a different context, in a different way. I didn't just get to where I am as far as watching things go or seeing things. And this has taken time. It has. But I'm just over it. I'm over this idea of lying. That's why I brought up the Wakanda movie, because it wasn't good. Nope, failed. Okay, all these movies where they're trying to do this woke idea and they're trying to have like everything be one-sided, it's not doing good in box offices. It's failing. Why are we creating these weird things in these movie theaters which is trying to appeal to one group of people? Are we forgetting that others are going to the movie theaters too? I'm somebody that loves superheroes. I've seen Endgame. I've seen every Marvel movie you could see. I've also read the comic book. So I'm not just going to the movies. I have comic book collections. Like, I actually read them. Like, comics means more to me. And video games, I played them when I was a little kid, bro. Like I'm really into that kind of stuff. Like comic books, video games, reading, film noir. Like, I'm into all of that. So when it comes to movies, like I'm going to a movie because I really want to see it. But you know what I don't want to see? A bad movie with shitty actors and a woke idea that's supposed to wake me up and make me feel some type of way about the movie. See, that doesn't appeal to me. I'm going to the movies because I want to see something. Now, I overheard people having conversations about how good it was, and it's just like, you're so far gone, I can't save you. So I'm not sure how to deal with this. Don't deal with it. Moving into the next part of the conversation before I get stuck on that and I'll never shut the hell up. Let me just save myself now. What's on Amazon right now? Question mark. Nothing. Nothing of interest. So I'm not even going to say anything. Good shows exist. You just have to find them to look at them. I don't really know where they are, but they're somewhere. Where is the question? The question is where. I want to find them because I like good things. But I don't really know where they are, honestly. Like, I like Netflix, but I've watched everything decent that looks good on there. I don't like the idea that I want to watch all the seasons of Are You the One and I can't find it. Like, that's upsetting and irritating to me, but who knows. But there are good shows that exist. There's a lot of sci-fi, there's a lot of horror. That horror series that's on Netflix is really good. There's also Gotham and Alfred, which is on HBO Max. There's so many good things available. You just have to go through these streaming services and you have to decipher it and find it and watch it. That's what it's all about, finding it and watching it. That's what I definitely say. Moving on to the next part of our conversation. Food. Food. I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving this year. We're having it at my mom's house. I'm also looking forward to the fact that I don't have to cook anything. And I also want to admit something to my listeners. I like cooking, but I don't love cooking. I'm typically a person that will find a way not to make something just because that's not my thing. Like, I like to cook. I'll cook for meal prep. I'll cook for dinner. But I'm not like into baking and cooking and doing all those things. It's just not my gist. Like, I wish it was. I wish I was like the Betty Crocker like vibe like that, but I'm not. So, like, I like to find good restaurants. I like to order from them. I like to pick up my food. I like to be a good regular consumer in that way. Because cooking is not my thing. The kitchen we have is not the best sized kitchen, and it doesn't make cooking easy right now. And because of that, I try to limit my time in there, honestly. I'm looking for fast things that I can make on a whim and nothing that's going to take a lot of time. And I don't need to feel bad about that, and I don't. This past weekend we had Porto Vallarta, and I was able to get one of my favorite meals. It's enchilada barita, and it was very good. It has 3 enchiladas. One's cheese, one's beef, one's chicken, and it has 3 different sauces, like a white cream sauce, a green sauce, a green chile sauce, and a red like salsa sauce. Very good. Each is very authentic. It comes with white rice, black beans, and a Mexican salad. Just delicious. And it doesn't taste like anything else. Like, it's so far beyond Chipotle. Like, Chipotle's nowhere near it. And I just love it. Just thinking about it just makes me happy. Like, that's what I want. I want more of that. So, given an opportunity, I want to frequent there more and eat more better food. One, it tastes good. Two, it's probably better for your body. And three, I want to get away from eating like fake variations of food I like. Like, I like Five Guys, but I really want to get back into health. And in this new year, me and Skip are going to be going into a gym membership at Anytime Fitness. And I really want to get back into eating healthy and living healthy. So doing that, I won't be eating Five Guys. I'll probably be eating Panera Bread. Doing that, I'll probably be having salads and shakes versus burgers and fries. And I'm excited about that. So I want to start eating at restaurants where there are salads, where there are bowls, and where there are healthier things. And I want to feel better about that. Moving into the next part of our conversation, outside of the fact that it's okay to change the way you're cooking, you don't just have to have turkey on Thanksgiving. I guess you could have roast beef, but there's so many other options. There's lasagna. There's just so many options. And for Christmas, you don't just have to have roast beef. You could have lasagna. It doesn't always have to be a meat. It could be something different. But I'm excited about the fact that it could really be anything you want it to be. I think that's the excitement of the holidays. As we get closer to Thanksgiving this week, I want to say I'm very thankful for my amazing audience. I'm very grateful to God to be where I am in my life right now. I'm happy that I'm over a year into the podcast, and it's only going to grow and get bigger and better. And I'm excited that I do chase my dreams. I'm excited that I'm unapologetic and I'm enthusiastic and happy, and nothing's going to stop that. I just hope that I can inspire others to do the same thing. As we get closer to Christmas, I hope you enjoy the holidays just as I do. And this is a great opportunity for us to be being grateful for all the things that are good. Thank you for tuning into this Monday pod of Born to Be a Star. And I will see you tomorrow, same place, same time. Bye.